In order to make your very own pillowcase, first you want to start with 1 yard of fabric, fold it in half, so you have 3 edges and 1 fold. Place your pins along 2 of the edges. Generally, I put them about 8 to 10 inches apart. You can put them as close or as far apart as you like. The purpose of the pins is just to hold the fabric in place while you sew. Now when you're sewing, you want to make sure that the edge of your fabric stays at the 1.5 or 3/4 inch mark. I have mine outlined with purple Sharpie. I've chosen white thread because I do have white in my fabric. I could have gone with blue or even green for this. Stitch forward, back stitch a little bit to lock the seam in place, and then just make a straight line with keeping the edge of your fabric and removing each of your pins as you come to them. Now as you come to the corner, you want to make sure that your needle is going to stop in the downward position through the fabric. Just lift the pressure foot, turn your fabric, set your pressure foot back down, and continue to sew. Just so that it makes it easier to sew the hem in the top, we iron a little bit of the long seam open and then iron about 1/2 inch down on around the entire circumference of the top of your pillowcase. After you have pressed under your 1/2 inch here, fold another 3 inches approximately down, and you are halfway done with the hem on your pillowcase. Just press this so that it stays in place while you're sewing it, and put a couple of pins in to hold everything still so the fold doesn't move. Now, because when you're working with a wide hem, you're not going to be able to see any of your markings on your machine, you turn around and you line your pressure foot up on the other side. This will ensure that you're sewing your seam in both layers. The reason you want your seam to go through both layers of this fold is so that you don't get frayed edges near the top of your machine. And you just sew slowly, keeping it as straight as possible, all the way around your pillowcase. You are almost done. As you approach the end of your circle around the hem on your pillowcase, you just want to sew directly into the seam that you've already started. That makes sure that your seam is tied and locked in place, and that you've made your full circle around your pillowcase. Always make sure that when you're done sewing, you trim off the extra threads. This will give your garment a nice finished look. And then when you turn this right side out, what you have is a completed pillowcase ready to put on your pillows. If you wanted to, you can always add a little bit of decoration right up here in the hem area to detail out some more of the pillowcase. But as this one is specifically for a gift, I will not be doing that.